Welcome to the final Hangman challenge. In this one, we're going to focus on that second thing we print to the screen. Currently, we always print the remaining guesses, but we're going to make this a bit more contextual. So if you're playing the game, yes, it's nice to know how many remaining guesses you have left, but what if you failed the game? I don't care about the number of remaining guesses. I now want to know something else, like what was the word I couldn't guess? Or if you succeeded, we'll just print a nice message congratulating you on a job well done. To dive into all of that, let's go ahead and explore the challenge comments for this one. Right here, we just have a couple of steps to get all of this done and wrap up this feature. The first one is to disable new guesses unless the user is in a playing status. So we're going to do that by modifying the method down below where we do something with someone's guess. Instead of processing the guess, we're just going to ignore it completely, doing nothing. So that is step one. We want to modify make guess to do nothing if the game isn't in that playing state. Step two, we're going to create a brand new method that returns a string. This is going to return the status message that we print here. And there are 3 status messages, one for each potential status. We have playing, in which case we are going to print a message that contains the number of guesses left. We also have failed. If you failed the game, you want to know what word you couldn't guess, so we're going to print a little message that has that inside of there. Nice try, the word was followed by the word. Down below, we have the last potential status of finished. Here, we don't need to put in anything. This is a completely static string. We're just going to congratulate you printing a little message to the screen. Now, there is one hint I'm going to give you for this challenge. If you have an array of individual letters, you can get a string back. We can use split to convert a string to an array, but what if we have an array like this, where the first letter is A, and the second letter as the second element is V, and we want to get the string back AV? Well, we actually use the join method on arrays. This allows us to join together all of the various pieces, in this case our 2 strings, and we can pass to it nothing, and what do we get? We get A, comma, V by default, so a comma separated list. That's not what we want. We can provide whatever we want to separate them with by providing an argument. If we have an argument that's an empty string, now we're getting what we want. This is going to allow us to take the word array and get a regular old string back. We could put something else in between there if we wanted to as well, and that would be the new separator for all of the array items. So you're going to have to use that to get the original string word back from the word array. All right, take some time to knock this one out and test your work. Actually play through a couple of games and look at all the status messages, making sure they show up when expected. Pause the video. When you're done, come back and click play. Welcome back. How'd you do? Let's go ahead and start with step 1. If someone makes a guess, but the game is no longer being played, we want to go ahead and ignore that guess. There are a few different ways we could have modified make guess to get that done. What I'm going to do is put an if statement right here. If, and we're going to take a peek at this dot status, and we're going to check if it's not equal to playing. So in this case, the code we provide right here is going to run if the game has either been finished by succeeding or by failing. And in that case, all we're going to do is use return. We're going to return nothing, which by default will return undefined, and this is going to prevent the rest of the function from running. So if the status is failed or finished, this code won't run. If the status is playing, this code will run. And there we have it. That's all we have to do for step 1. Let's move on to step 2, creating a new method that gives you one of these 3 status messages back. I'm going to go ahead and add that into the mix right here. Hangman dot prototype dot right here get status message seems appropriate. I'll set up a function. The function does not need to take any arguments. All it's going to do is look at this dot status. Let's set up our if statement. We'll look at this dot status. For the first status, let's go ahead and check if it's playing. So if you're still playing the game, we will print the best message for you, which is the number of guesses you have left. So right here, I will return a template string with the string from above, guesses left, :space. And then right here, we add the actual number of remaining guesses. This dot, remaining guesses. Excellent. Now we can move on to one of the other statuses. Let's go ahead and do the failed status. So that would be else if this dot status is equal to failed. If you have failed the game, that's okay. We're going to print a message specifically designed for you. Right here, we will be returning a template string because we want to include the word that you missed. So that would be nice try. Then the word was, followed by, right here, 2 quotes. So I'm going to put into quotes the actual word. Now these quotes that I've just typed, they're going to show up as is. So they're going to show up like we see up above. The goal is to just surround the actual puzzle with quotes to differentiate it from the rest of the sentence. Right here inside of the template string, I'm going to interpolate, and we're going to use this.word.join to convert the array back to a string, separating each character by nothing. So we're smushing them all together, just like we extracted them all up above. All right, that is it for the failed status. We can add on an else for the last status, but maybe you used an else if. Either way gets the job done. And right here, we are going to return just a regular old string. There's nothing dynamic in this string. We're just going to print a message like, great work. You guessed the word. Perfect. And there we have it. That is all we need to do for get status message. All we have to do now is actually call it and test it. I'm going to remove the challenge comments from up above, save the Hangman file, and add a call to get status message over here on these 2 lines, the line right here and the line down below. I'm going to remove remaining guesses and instead call get status message. And down below, I'll remove the console.log. There's no need to log it since we are now printing the appropriate string. I'll remove the console.log for the status message here as well. And I will replace remaining guesses with a call to get status message. Perfect. Now we can actually test things out. If I save the file, I see guesses left 2. If I hit Q, which doesn't exist, I see guesses left 1. If I hit C, A, T, I see great work, you guessed the word. Now let's make sure that when we fail, we get that message. I'll do Q, P, and O, and we can see that it says, nice try, the word was cat. So everything is working as expected. We have our 3 statuses, and the game is able to respond to those statuses. The status changes as the user interacts with the game, guessing new letters, and when the status does change, we're able to print something new, in this case, a little message. And we were able to do all of this using the prototypal inheritance provided by JavaScript. We now have a way to create a Hangman game and process all of the various actions you'd want to take, like making guesses, getting the puzzle, getting the status message, and calculating the status. All of those being methods. That's where we're going to stop for this one. In the next video, we're going to explore an alternative syntax for setting up our constructor functions and our methods. This is going to make things just a little nicer on the eyes, though behind the scenes, it's going to have the exact same functionality. I'll see you then.